Hi, welcome to another Warhammer battle report. This is 3000 point between my Bretonnians and my opponent's Dwarf. This is after the Vanguard moves. So for my list I have a trap on that hill, a unit of 10 mounted yeomen, a Bretonnia Lance with the banner of swiftness. In that I have 3 Paladin, one with the variety of impetuous knights, one with just the morning star a lance, and one with the flaming lance. And I also have my level 2 with the scroll of shielding in it, and with a lot of beast I have wisdom's wild form and the amber spear. And the middle lance is also a unit of duel with the standard of discipline. In that unit I have my BSP, one of rollable armor save. I have a Bretonnia Lord, also one of rollable armor save. He have the virtue of heroism, so heroical in blow build. And I also had another Paladin with the ruby goblet on it. Then I have a unit of errants next to that. In that I have my level 4 with the scroll, with the wisdom's wild form, savage beast, pelt, and the curse. And I have a other Bretonnia Lord. This one is the challenging build with the Gauntlet of duel, word of confidence, and so on. I have another Paladin with the insignia of quest, and finally I've had another Paladin, pretty much the usual build. Then I have a unit of 20 skirmisher archer with flame and another treb. And for the dwarf player to the left, next to that wood, you have a gyrocopter, then a unit of longbeard with a runesmith in it, then a unit of ironbreaker stubborn with his general on a shield bearer tough as nail in it. Then you have a unit of hammer with a runesmith in, I think, and a big unit of great weapon warrior with his battle standard bear with the fiber board against shooting rune and the stubborn rune. And you also have a gyro bomber and another gyrocopter. And well, the dwarf got the first turn, but the only thing he moves up 6 inches with his blocks, and he moved his gyrocopter around on the flank, and well, that's it. So this picture is after my first turn, and we're probably gonna do the dance of death, but since he's a dwarf and he have move 3 and I'm a Bretonnian with move 8, I think I will hopefully win the dance of the death between me and my opponent. In the dwarf second turn, he takes his gyrocopter and charge my treb, and obviously he gonna kill that and rig it. Well, he pushes up his other units. He basically realized he cannot get the charge, so he just pushes up 6 inches and trying to do as beneficial position for his unit as he possibly can, trying to avoid having 3 Bretonnia Lands slam into the same unit at once. And I want you to remember this picture because of my next turn I will start to charge. And this is what I roll for the charge descent for one of my Night Lands. So basically I need to roll a 3 and I roll a triple 1, so I failed the charge with one of my lances and only slam into his units with one of my lances, which is very, very bad. And well, as you see, the middle lance fails its charge and basically cannot do anything, and it landed there. And well, so now I'm in a tricky position because unfortunately the hammer will probably after a while kill all of my wyrmlance in that unit. So this is my solution to this bad problem. I start by using the fast cap to lock up his iron breaker and longbeard unit. I specifically give him room for his general to charge out from his Iron Breaker, because I hopefully can challenge him out and kill him. And I push up my other lance to get into the range of 12 inch of all my character with my level 4 to 6 dice Savage Beast, but unfortunately he will eat the scroll of eating, and he will not eat my spell, but he will stop it. And I use my peasant archer to just move into that forest and stop his great weapon warrior. And hopefully, since they are forest, they are stubborn, leadership 10 and a reroll. Hopefully he cannot kill 10 archer in one go. So that's my plan, to hopefully survive this bad situation. So very well. This is actually the dwarf turn 3. So we can see he have done some movement. He have not done a lot. He have charged with his Longbridge into my peasant cab. He have charged his general, as I hoped, out of his unit into my wyrmlance. As you see in that combat, I kill his champion in the challenge. I kill a lot of hammers. He only did 2 wounds to me. He did 2 wounds, one of my paladin and one of the other paladin, and that's basically it. And his great weapon warrior will reform into a 6 wide unit in the top of this picture, and you can also see his Yara bomber and Yara copter behind my knights. They will shoot at them and they will kill 1 or 2 of them. And this is after dwarf combat phase. As you can see, of course, his Longbeards just slam and kill a lot of my peasant cab. I have 2 left. They break, they run away, and they will run off the board later. In the combat with the hammer, I kill some more of them. In a challenge, my Bretonnia Lord goes in and does 2 wounds on his Dwarf Lord, but he has 5, so he's pretty unkillable. His Dwarf Lord does 2 wounds on my Bretonnia Lord, and that's it for Dwarf turn 3. His Gyrocopter also go in and kill my other Treb. So for the Bretonnian turn 3, I send my 2 remaining lances into his warrior block, accompanied by the peasant archer, and well, who knows, since they are in a fear causing wood, they will cause fear, so the dwarf hopefully will roll 2 double 6 and have up skill 1 potentially. And well, if he kills some peasant, well, that's mean he doesn't kill knights, and that's good for everybody. So that's my movement in turn 3. For magic, I get off the Wizard's wild form on my realm knights, and I get off the curse on his great weapon warrior, and hopefully my realm lance to the left will hold his 3 units of dwarf away from me. And that's the plan. Well, this is a picture after combat. Unfortunately, his great weapon warrior unit are stubborn because he's battle standard bear, and I only have 1 paladin who could strike at him, and I only did 1 wound on him, so he's stubborn. Leadership 10, he sticks, but he didn't do much damage to my knight lance because I have the character wall. My regular paladin loses a wound in one of the lands, the other one of the other paladin loses a wound, and that's, well, that's it. My realm lands hold for 1 more turn, and my lord is now dead, but I have done 1 more wound to his lord and shield bearer, so he's down to 2 wounds remaining. His hammers have taken a lot of damage, and that's it for the Bretonnian turn 3. So for the dwarf turn 4, his dwarf slams at the flank of my realm, and I don't know, I don't think I can hold them up. But well, I see that since we're in a grind, the dwarf is pretty much better than the Brit, so grinding, but if I'm lucky I can just stick around and withering the worst of it. Well, this is after the Bretonnian turn 4 movement, and as you can see, I did manage to kill his Battlestunner Bear. I broke him and run him down, and then I reform like that, you can see in the picture. And well, I would say this, a blessing of the lady from the Lady of the Lake. I don't even care that she pretends to be an elf to trick the elven people to worship her. She is so amazing. I took so much wounds from the dwarf player with armor piercing, with high strength, and I just rolled a crap ton of 5s and 6s, and my lands, okay, I lost 4 knights, but I killed like 6-7 hammers. I killed some of the Ironbreaker, and I actually didn't lose that hard. I was only losing by 2, and I was on a leadership 8 and made it so my unit sticks, and that's fucking amazing. And this is after Bretonnian combat turn 4. I did get off some magic buff, I did get off wild form, but that's on the lands on top of him, because I was afraid they were gonna break and he was gonna shot them down. I get off the bubble savage beast, and that's it. And I think actually, even though I killed 2 knights or something like that, I think my Damsel go in and actually punk a wound on the Dwarf Lord. And even though I did amazing, I lost combat by a bunch. He have flanks, he have banners, he have ranks and stuff like that, but I rolled a double 1, so I stick, and that's pretty much make the dwarf player furious. And so over to dwarf turn 5. So for dwarf turn 5 movement, one of his gyrocopter charged my peasant archer, and well, they will pretty much stay there for a while. They will beat each other, or mostly the gyrocopter will kill 1 or 2 peasants at a time, but I'm stubborn and actually managed to stick around. And he moves his Longbeard closer to my Bretonnia line, and he shoots up his gyrocopter to block my realm wyrmlance from charging him next turn. Well, unfortunately, it did get a very bad picture, but it just to show that his unit of hammers and Ironbreaker and Dwarf Lord managed to kill my poor wyrmlance, who have stood there throughout, taking so much damage and holding up basically half of his army by themselves for such a long time. So they did a very good job. And well, this is how the board look just before Bretonnian turn 5. So what I did in Brett turn 5, I sent out 1 Paladin to charge the flank of his hammer. I put him in the bottom corner of the hammer, so he hopefully can overrun and into his general and kill him. And I settled my wyrmlance into his Ironbreaker unit, and that's basically it. Well, this is after Bretonnian turn 5. As you can see, my Paladin, he killed 1 of his hammer, the hammer did 1 wound on me, I win, he's stubborn, he sticks, and he could not reform. And oh, this is actually after his movement, because his Longbeard had moved up closer to me. And my wyrmlance have pushed into his Ironbreaker. I killed some. I didn't manage to kill his character, and I found out they had the Stabborn banner, so they just stick around, don't care much about it. And well, so that was for my turn. And I forgot to mention that his Dwarfennia Lord charged into my realm bus. He killed 2 of my realm. He breaks, and while he breaks, he run through my questing knight Paladin, and it's so hilarious because the horse, he just put forward his leg and the dwarf carrying around the big plate with the big dwarf lord on it trips, and the dwarf will fall down. He only have one wound remaining, and he falls down and he breaks his neck and he is dead. And that was hilarious, and my opponent yeah, it was so funny. And I also managed to kill a Fane or something dwarf character in the Ironbreaker unit, but unfortunately Gyrocopter killed my peasant archer, overrun into my wyrmlance. I think he did that last turn, and since I got the Savage Beast bubble on, I just smacked that Gyrocopter silly, and it's dead. Well, Bretonnia turn 6 go pretty fast, not much happened. I did get a dimensional cascade and I didn't roll a 4, so my wizard is still alive and kicking. As you can see, his gyrocopter is gone because I shot it down and killed it. He still have some long bridge left, but since they're stubborn they don't go anywhere. And the hammer and my paladin both have the old strike last rule, and they take the great weapon and they kill each other simultaneously, and that's the game. And it ended up being pretty close. It's a 500-ish point victory for the Bretonnians, and I think, well, is one reason I won, and that is the blessing of the lady, because it's so amazing to actually have a god that actually does something in this game, and it does it very well, because probably the blessing and the lance formation have saved the oldest book in the game, and well, it's so amazing. I cannot stop saying how good it is. And oh well, I hope you enjoyed this battle report. I will see you around.